So happy Friday, happy Halloween. Thank you all for being here for our bi-weekly Eastside Rap meeting to discuss the impacts of homelessness on the east side of Santa Barbara. I'm Landon Rank, the Director of Programs at SB Act, and this is a partnership with the City of Santa Barbara as a part of our broader South County strategy to address homelessness. And so joined by Barbara Anderson from the City Administrator's Office, as well as other city staff. So thank you all. And just a couple of general announcements before we get started. This is not actually fully up to date, so I may edit this in real time, but uh, just a couple of meetings coming up. One is the what we used to call the downtown wrap meeting, where we discuss homelessness impacts in the downtown area. Will be next Thursday. It's a part of the downtown Santa Barbara's Improvement Association, their meetings around civil sidewalks and safety. And so homelessness is just a part of the conversation, but we encourage you to join us if you're interested to be a part of that conversation. I'll share out the Zoom link in the coming days. Um, Barbara or Sasha, does any one of you want to talk about the upcoming Planning Commission meeting?
Yeah, I was actually just gonna pull up the agenda. Sorry, I was traveling this week for a conference to see where we are on that. So we're actually the first discussion item. So the meeting starts around 1 o'clock. So folks who want to offer public comment first, there's a way to do that online and email, and they publish all public comments for everyone to see. And then if you wanted to engage in public comment, it would be at the start of that meeting, is what I would suggest, to be there around a little after 1 o'clock. But this is looking back at the last 2 years, not looking forward. So I just want to clarify that. And I think the staff will clarify that too. It's a CUP review that's required by PATH as operator and owner of the facility. And then I think I mentioned on our call last time that that CUP goes with the land. So any new provider would also need to meet adherence to that CUP as well.
Um, so I'll send out, maybe when I send out this link for the downtown wrap, I'll also share out the information for that planning commission meeting. It's also on the city's website and in their postings. And then we would typically have our next Eastside Rap meeting on the 14th. It's every 2 weeks, but I actually think we're going to be canceling this. I just emailed with Barbara. There's a county homelessness and housing conference that the county's hosting in Buellton that day. So many of us, including myself, Barbara, probably some from CityNet and others, will be at. So we won't have an East Side Rap meeting that day. And then the next one is on Black Friday. So we won't be meeting that time either. So I think we're going to actually just cancel the meetings for the month of November. However, there will be potentially a city conversation happening. So I don't know, Barbara, if this is the forum to talk about it now.
Yeah, we'll share once we have a date secured. Landon, we'll share that time, location, and details with you to share out with this group. But our intention is to host a neighborhood meeting for residents and businesses surrounded by path. So we can talk about where we are in the process. At that time, we'll have gone through the selection of an interim service provider in preparation for a council meeting on November 18th. So we just want to talk to folks about where we are, make sure that any concerns or questions that they have are being addressed, and to really share kind of what we have. I will say the details that may or may not be available at that time about the long-term future too.
So we do encourage you to reach out to us though with any concerns or questions in the meantime, phone or
Absolutely.
email. And but we will not have a regular schedule for the month of November before we resume in mid-December. All right. Um, and I see Barbara put the link for the Planning Commission in the chat window there. And I will, yeah, I can work on pulling those the other link in the chat as well, Natasha. So let's go ahead and open it up for questions or concerns from community members. Go ahead, Jose.
Oh, yeah, just one question. It was a few weeks back. I was walking along with a friend of mine on East Coda, and right where they're building the new police station, it seemed like that same homeless individual is still there, just kind of right off into the corner there, So I'm just kind of wondering, what's the status on this individual?
Yeah, Mr. Lincoln has not been receptive to shelter or supportive services. I know the CityNet team has regularly engaged with him. The Doctors Without Walls team is actually engaging with him to help address his physical health conditions. Um, but Jose, if you have any ideas or opportunities or anyone who has rapport with him, we know him very well. He knows us very well. We continue to offer support to him, but he refuses at every turn. So um, it's unfortunate because he's been there actually for quite a long time. And of course, with the construction of the police station, he's been pushed out of his kind of usual area that was used to be along the bus station there. And then, we're working with the team. Andrew and his team, are constantly engaging with him to just try to address the belongings, and other issues that he tends to gather around him. But yeah, it's been a challenging situation for us.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can just chime in from code enforcement. We did visit James actually yesterday afternoon, and provide him with notice. I'm gonna go check in on him again today. We're gonna try to minimize his belongings because he's starting to accumulate a bit more waste than his usual, like one solitary cart that he sort of lived with. So we're gonna see if you know we can tidy up that area. But he is quick to move his belongings. He's still mobile enough, that when we do post him, he does change locations, and he's, despite his condition, he is still, you know, able to kind of avoid us a little bit. So,
Thanks for raising that, Jose. Other questions or concerns?
And Natasha, I know that you'd walk through that area regularly and are familiar with him as well. So we appreciate the comments in the chat that he does induct into Veracruz and kind of knows the routine that our city staff kind of go through to engage with him.
All right, not seeing anything else at the moment. So we'll go ahead and do some rounds to our service providers. I see we have Sasha here with us from Path. I don't know if you have any updates you wanted to share from Path side, and then we'll go to CityNet next.
I mean, I'll just add we had a really nice event with the residents yesterday celebrating and decorating pumpkins for Halloween. So that was really lovely. And as Barbara mentioned, our Chief Program Officer, Tasha Uribe, will be up next week. I'll be there as well to present on the CUP. So that's kind of the latest that's happening at PATH.
Thank you. Let's go to CityNet.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, we've been in the past week continuing to provide outreach at Pershing Park. We've also been spending a lot more time at Alameda Park, Kids World, that kind of general area with the three parks. Um, we've been engaging with quite a few folks on Milpas, Chase Palm Park, met some new people. We attended the Shower of Blessings on the East Side last Friday and met some new people. So we did some enrollments last week, and we're probably going to have some more coming up here with people from that area.
Thank you. Andrew with code enforcement.
thanks, Landon. Yeah, the East Side has nothing of particular note for us from the code enforcement side. Still kind of staying along the waterfront since we've had some pretty nice summer weather rolling into fall here that keeps things kind of active along that area. But again, a lot of things are really consolidated into carts, and that makes it a little bit of this big sort of shifting puzzle for us of watching things move, or if we post something, it moves along and onto a different location. So we kind of continue to play that game, but also dealing, as cooler temperatures at night, we're dealing a lot with the underpasses, seeing an increase in activity there. But we continue to power wash and litter pick up twice a week at those spaces to try to, mitigate the impacts. And then also, I don't think Suzette's on the call today, but rescue mission area on East Yananali has been a priority for us. So we're continuing to do abandoned waste cleanups along there, work with the individuals. It's a challenging location with the draw of their services. It just creates this balance that we haven't quite struck of, wanting to allow people to utilize their services and be nearby, but then some of them aren't willing to, limit their belongings. And so that creates a challenge for us at that location. But gonna just keep up our efforts there and hope to see some change. So
Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, I'll see if we can get an update from Suzette that maybe we can email out. Let's go to Lieutenant Beltran.
Thanks, Landon. Don't really have a whole lot. I echo pretty much everything that Andrew just said. We spent some time on Milp. I'd say a little bit more time on Milpas recently than we have in other times prior. And Quarantina, Cacique, all the same areas, the waterfront. Nothing really new, so nothing of note to report on our end.
Thank you. I don't see Good Samaritan on the call today, but I also don't see New Beginnings. And I'm wondering if Barbara or Lieutenant Beltran, if you have any updates just with regard to vehicular homelessness. I know there may not be anything to report at the moment, but since it's been an ongoing topic.
Yeah, I think the traction with New Beginnings has been a little bit slower than the initial enrollments that they had as the program with the Encampment Resolution Fund grant funds started. We still have folks that continue to not be receptive to New Beginnings enrollment along Quarantina and around Cacique. And we continue to experience impacts of vehicular homelessness in several of our priority regions, which is around the junior high. We have a couple of folks still around Hope, and then a few folks around West Montecito as well. So Dwight Murphy, if you want to say Dwight Murphy Park, even though it's been closed off, but that whole surrounding area around Cabrillo Ball Field, we get regular reports from businesses and residents that are being negatively impacted by folks that are residing along those corridors. And we're just not getting the receptivity that we were getting initially with folks. So New Beginnings has been able to enroll over 100 people in the last year, and they've housed 50% of those folks, which has been incredible to have that traction. But as you all know, we're still seeing those numbers increase, and we're seeing folks not receptive.
Well, we're all kind of eager to learn a little bit more about this population too. There's going to be at some point a county-wide study of vehicular homelessness just to get a better understanding of kind of this rapid increase in vehicular homelessness and kind of who these people are. So, but we don't have the data yet. So hopefully that proves helpful for some of these efforts, especially with the hard to reach individuals. Suzette, thanks for joining us. Would you be willing to share an update from the rescue mission?
Yes, hi. Sorry, I had something come up. Good to see you guys. We're plugging along over here. We have had a lot of activity, and I've been on the phone and sending emails out to our partners, code enforcement and Marburg, and there's been some other contractors that I believe are on behalf of code enforcement that have been out several times a week helping us. Still, definitely a sort of uptick in encampment type of situations going on. We have one individual that is being assisted through CityNet. I believe they were here this morning as well. And we're hoping to get him moved on to a better situation as soon as possible. I'm sorry, did the community members end their time now?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll open it up again for anybody if they have concerns or questions. But we've been going around doing check-ins, and Andrew shared a little bit of what you're talking about.
Okay. Okay, great.
Just no personal information yet.
Thank you, Al.
Right.
That's what I was looking
Yeah,
for.
no, that's what I can tell.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you. I've been having a hard time getting a hold of Marburg and having them come over and empty their trash cans. I've sent several notices and called 3, 4 times. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. Some of their receptacles that are on the opposite side of the street to us need trash cans and liners, but then we have metal cans that are filled up to overflowing every day. And sometimes, unfortunately, people like to dump them out on the street. And then that garbage, ends up floating around and flowing all over the place. So we're trying our best to speak with our guests and yeah, change people's attitude and responsibility when it comes to littering.
Suzette, I'm sorry, and I have to apologize. I've been meaning to write back to you. It's been crazy because I was at a training last week, so I'm
No
sorry I
problem.
haven't been in touch. I know Brian was talked to you a little bit, but those are the public containers out, the metal public containers you're talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
on our side.
Okay. I believe those are serviced the maximum that Marburg does, which is supposed to be 5 times a week. But I can double check with the trash and recycling team just to see that those are getting the maximum servicing. If you guys are seeing them constantly overflowing, um, I mean, I saw that one spot, unfortunately, right across from me. I saw the umbrella sticking out, and a lot of that waste that we were trying to get pretty recently was all jammed into that trash can. But we can definitely try to see if we need to, do some special servicing or something like that.
Yeah, thanks. That umbrella, along with some office chairs and some rolling bookshelves, were adopted by one of our guests, and now she's set up across the street, and we're trying to motivate her to not stay there. It's hard.
Yeah, my contractor reached out to me about that actually. He unfortunately contacted me kind of late on his cleanup because he was going to move from the location, but he said he was challenged by her about all those belongings and refused to, cooperate in giving them up. So again, this is where we're going to start moving towards that direction of I'll work with the cat team and we'll do these more kind of forceful cleanups here, hopefully in the coming weeks. So,
Yeah, I would like to, she needs house. She needs to be housed. She's actually on the street with her son. So,
okay.
who's an adult. She's an older woman, but maybe we can also see if we can hook them up with City Net as well.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, thank you. That was everyone from our round. Oh, actually, Barbara, I don't know if you have any other updates you want to share from the city.
Um, just a couple things going on. Yeah. So I will put the link in the chat. We've published a request for qualifications for an interim service provider at Path. Path has been super gracious to allow, hopefully, this crossover time, and we're trying to get an interim service provider in there early December. So we have some time with Path staff that will be there until the end of December to really ensure the continuity of care for clients that are currently there. So we're moving as quickly as government can move to make this happen. And then we also fielded some questions from folks who are considering submitting a proposal. And so those questions have been posted at this site as well. Um, and we have a great team that's working with us to evaluate proposals. And we have representatives from Housing and Community Development, Behavioral Wellness, Probation, Cottage Health, City of Goleta, all working to see if we can get a provider in that space to, again, be able to have this thoughtful transition between the two providers. So hoping for the best. Proposals are due next week. And we have obviously the planning commission period next week, and then we're working to engage folks on a request for proposals for the navigation services downtown. And so we have several meetings next week that will be soliciting feedback on that proposal. I think that's it for just high level stuff, but happy to answer any questions folks have as well.
Since we do have a few other community members who just jumped on the call, I'm just going to open it up again. Are there any other questions or concerns from the community that anyone wants to raise?
Yeah, Landon, thanks for letting me pop in here real quick. The one thing I want to say to around the Dwight Murphy. I've noticed that, like Barbara and everybody says, there's a lot more RVs parking on that street. And I noticed the other day when I was there, a friend of mine was moving and I was taking up some packages from her. I saw a gentleman dump his gray water right into the ditch. That's one thing. And then for the streets department, the Cacique and Canada Bridge, or not Canada, both the bridges are being like once they tag, they clean it, they come back. It's becoming a real big issue. So I don't know if Beltran and them they can up their patrols, and we've been a lot more bangers have been hanging out there too. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to share.
I appreciate it. I'm going to pass this on and make sure that we do our part on it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. Anything else? All right. I'm not hearing anything. So I do see Barbara posted the call for proposals in the chat window as well. Thank you. We'll go ahead and end the meeting for community members. I mentioned this at the beginning of the meeting. We will not be meeting during the month of November in our regularly scheduled times, but stay tuned because there will be a city meeting to discuss kind of some of the changes happening on the east side with regard to the path shelter. So we will reconvene in December, and I guess that date would be, let me pull it up. December the 12th would be our next one. So hopefully we'll see you before then. Otherwise, please be in touch with us. And otherwise, see you in December. Thank you all.
Thank you.